Hi, this is the first look at Cosmic Chess. I want to explain a little bit about the user interface and the win conditions of the game and how the game is played. So first of all, there is the overall board or board field. On this specific map, the board is translucent, the tiles are translucent, there's just a video backdrop. Note that you'll be hearing the sound effects twice because I have the client open in two instances, for player 1 and for player 2. And note that the game has functional multiplayer, and we've added SSL encryption for the game, and now we're just adding encryption for the login system and connecting that to an online database. So there are a couple UI elements to look at. The most important UI element is at the top. It's called the action mode bar. You control it with 1 through 6 and F1 through F3. Inspect mode or 1. This is inspect mode or target mode to click on a unit and find out information about them. Movement mode, physical attack mode, range attack mode, magic attack mode, and ability mode. Note that if you're in ability mode, you switch between your three abilities with F1 through F3. And so inspect mode is the most important mode because that's how you see what your units are and what you're going to do with them. And so when you select a unit, it updates this UI element here called the unit control panel. And the unit control panel shows the unit art, their health, their movement per turn, their physical armor, physical attack, magic attack, and range attack. So the game has stats. It's a little bit more intricate than chess, but it's not quite as complicated as something like Diablo or World of Warcraft. And again, there aren't 30 abilities per unit, just like there are 30 abilities per class. And something like WoW, there are 3 abilities per unit. And so the net effect of this, of the units having 3 abilities that you can choose from, and note you can use 1 ability per turn per unit, up to a total of 20 action points per turn, is that you have a chess-like feel to the game, that you're, rather than moving a single unit, you're moving multiple units per turn. Rather than doing a single action, you're also doing multiple abilities. And so it has a feel of you kind of controlling an army as you fight against your opponent's army. And very quickly, by turn 2 or turn 3, the stakes become very high. It becomes very intense because you're controlling multiple units per turn. So now I'm actually going to show other levels for the game. This game is Cosmic Chaos. So I'm going to surrender. Okay, so this map is Marksman's Meadow. Like Cosmic Chaos, it's still on a board field. You win by killing the other player's Forest King. In this specific map on Cosmic Chaos, it was the Cosmic King. But this map has an extra UI element called the Element Bar, or the Elemental Arrow Bar, where you change or empower the ability Elemental Shot to do different things. So if I click a lightning arrow, I can summon a thunderstorm. If I click on my other archer, since I've just used an ability with that archer, and then use a frost arrow, I summon a snowstorm. And note that these weather elements will actually move in a direction with the wind at the end of the turn phase. So this map is it's still chess, but there's this complex weather mechanic where things like, you can summon a fire, and then fire will spread over time, or you can use water to put out a fire, or fire can hit ice and melt it into mud, and so on and so forth. Okay, this map is Death's Doorstep. Similarly to Marksman's Meadow, it has an extra UI element, the Cursed Artifact bar. And so that can do various things. I select a unit that has that ability. I select a Cursed Artifact. And let's say I summon an imp if I use the treasure box. Or if I go and use the labyrinth cube, I can open up a portal, and other portals that are opened up on the map will connect. And so then you can teleport through them to gain a positional advantage versus your opponent. And then there's a Rune Void, which can do a magic attack or buff an ally or debuff an enemy. And then a Shadow Skull, which also has a buff effect and can blow up a graveyard. So again, the game is fundamentally chess, but instead of units having no special abilities, every unit has 3 abilities. And there's a couple extra, UI aspects to the game that you choose from. the net effect of the UI bar down at the bottom is that it extends the ability pool for a limited amount of units, the units that have the ability Cursed Artifact for this specific map. This is Steamy Skies. This is personally my favorite map. It's got a steampunk Sky War aesthetic to it. And again, there is the UI element bar. There's a cannon. There is the ability to do bombs. And note that bombs will set off a chain reaction of other bombs. So I can plant a bomb. And then using another unit, I can blow up that bomb. I have a gun that affects movement speed and a way to heal allies or burn enemies. And so fundamentally, the reason the game is called chess is because it's on a chessboard. You control 16 units just like chess, but it's a little bit more surreal. You have a large amount of abilities to choose from. There are ridiculous combinations of abilities that you can do. You have 20 action points per turn, so you can do multiple movements and multiple abilities per turn. And the net effect of gameplay for the player is a very complex, strategically deep, and satisfying game because there are so many permutations of moves that you can make. It's very rewarding as you figure out strategies and manage to find weaknesses or holes in your opponent's defense and attack them.